Uh, and they were both civil servants who retired and went into private sector after retirement. And that is one of the reasons we shall talk about later, where I think the mindsets must start adopting early, because at the end of the day, everyone goes into private sector.
Yes.
Some people go there after 60 years,
Yeah.
other people start at 30, and
Yeah.
other people start at 20, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
we all go into that area. I was born in a time when, just a year before the current government came into place.
Yeah.
So the stories from our past as a nation are still vivid to my mind, because they were being told there and then. Oh, Amin's regime, Obote's regime, you know, uh, colonial times. There were some people, and those are stories that used to move around households. We didn't have too much of social media and all that. So you'd see it, and maybe all your parents, your grandparents, they are giving you those stories. And you could see that it was a story of progress. And so growing up in this regime, President Museveni's regime, I've seen, I have done a litmus test of the stories I had pre the current government and where we are headed now. But of course, you cannot detach our growth as a nation from the wider, regional, African, continental, and global area. So I began to look at where we were coming from, and I took interest in asking myself, what will my role be in this story that we have been seeing of the African transition, especially as a nation. And so I went to Nakasero Primary School. Then I went to Mbarara Secondary first, because my father was working in Mbale at some point. Yeah. Then after my P7, he was taken to Mbarara, and so I had to change. Yeah. Started with Mbarara Secondary, then later I went to Mbarara High School, where I finished my O level. Then did my A level still in the same school. Then went to Makerere University, where I pursued my Bachelor's of Arts in Economics. Yeah. And later, I did my master's in institutional management and leadership. Now, the economics, I did it to please my parents, because at that time, you needed to do something that,
that has that value.
that has that value. Yes. When you stand up, you say, I'm an economist, I'm a lawyer, yes. And also the grades, that's why they took me. Otherwise, initially, I thought I would go and do law and be a lawyer also. Yeah. But I ended up with economics, which was good. Again, still would give me a background to where we have come from, yeah, both at a local context, but also within the global context. And then I started my career in banking. Started with Barclays Bank, 2007. It was on a project, yeah, short-term project, data cleanup. At the time, the bank had taken up Nile Bank, and yeah, so there was a bit of cleanup in the systems for them to integrate. Did my first 3 months, did another 3 months. Then an opportunity came up, and I applied, and they gave me a permanent job.